Hello, my beautiful, wonderful, beloved people of this channel and planet Earth. I wanted to talk today about three things as to why, and maybe a fourth thing, as to why this is a super strong and probably the strongest Mercury retrograde of this year. Typically, we have 3 in a year, okay? And why this is a huge opportunity for you, so stay tuned. But first, I wanted to thank everybody who joined Astrologica, the Astrologica subscription membership. You are going to love this season because this is the season to really take advantage of purpose, which is one of the things that everybody always emails me to do a chart reading about. Plus, you have some discounts on some readings and other things in there. So welcome to the tribe if you joined. If you didn't, subscription is now closed, but stay tuned because I will be opening up again sometime this year, okay? All right, Mercury retrograde. Always people are like, Mercury retrograde. Well, Mercury retrograde, first of all, what is a retrograde? A retrograde is when a planet that of course, is always doing its movement in its orbit in a forward motion, seems to be going backward. Why do I say seems to? Because this is an optical illusion, okay? That gives you an insight a little bit as to this being part of that matrix mental trick with a purpose type of deal, okay? Mercury retrograde is super, super key this time around for a few reasons. For one, when there's something called dignities in astrology, okay? And dignities is when you have a planet that is in one of 4 positions. One, it could be a planet is in the sign that it naturally rules. We call that domicile. It could be in the sign opposite that it rules. It could be in a sign that is considered by astrologers to be exalted or in like the best position possible, the best sign that it could be, that planet. Or it could be even worse of a position and really not comfortable. By worse, I mean not good or bad. I mean just really not comfortable, not permitting the energies to flow the way that they want to flow. Because a planet has a particular purpose or theme or topic. And the sign that it's in is the energy of how it's going to express this, okay? And the sign itself can actually limit the planet a little bit because let's say you have a planet like Mars. It's an action planet. It wants to do stuff. In a sign like Pisces or Cancer they just want to flow, they want to feel, they're emotional. They're not really signs that you would equate or think about when you are thinking Action Jackson, right? So it's different if you have a Mars in Sagittarius. These are, it's the fire sign. They want to do stuff, adventure, explore. Where are we going? What are we doing? What are we learning? What are we teaching? So that's one way. And the second way that a planet gets a little bit limited is the retrograde. But we'll go further into this, okay? So right now, Mercury is retrograde in the sign that it rules. The planet Mercury rules the sign Gemini. Mercury is actually retrograde right now, starting May 29th, in the sign of Gemini. So we call that being in domicile. That dignity is called domicile. It's home. The planet's really comfortable in the sign, and all of the characteristics of the planet and the sign get sort of accentuated, augmented, they grow in importance, and they grow in your ability to tap into those energies, okay? Mercury, as you know, is the planet of communications, the planet that rules transportation, technology, all digital stuff, the internet, shared with Aquarius, self-expression. But I think probably the most important thing here is going to be that it rules the analytical mind, okay? The analytical mind, as opposed to, for example, the subconscious mind. So this is the mind that we have that allows us to make certain conscious processes. And that's really the main topic, because this channel, if you're new to it, this is not just an astrology channel that's going to tell you, this is the date, this is the thing, be scared about this and that. This is a channel of consciousness. So if you want to understand how you can use the energies available to you through your birth chart and the energies available to you through the current transits of where the planets are right now, you can come to this channel and you can see that, or you can go to my Instagram at @MarilSolisPaz, okay? That's what we're about. We're about consciousness. How do we use all this stuff to really grow, to evolve, to help this planet to get to where it needs to get, because we're here as filters and helpers for this planet, okay? So that's what Mercury in Gemini, one of the biggest things that it allows you to do is to tap into consciousness, to the analytical process that allows you to bring about a higher consciousness too. Analysis doesn't always yield higher consciousness. Sometimes it can get you in a loop and confuse you even more and whatever, but that's not what we want to do. What we want to do is use analysis so that we can reach a higher consciousness level, okay? That's what we're about here. So that's one of the things. When I talk to you guys on this channel or on my Instagram or Facebook about lunations, you got the new moon and you got the full moon, and these are portals of energy. And you know this if you're an astrological member. You have astro coaching for both of those lunations with every guide every single season, okay? For a reason. These are portals of energy that allow energy to come in and allow energy to go out. What you no longer serves, you release it. What you need in order for you to progress to your next level, you allow it in. When these portals unite with or happen simultaneously with an eclipse like we just had, augmented opportunity for release and for welcoming new energy and for taking ourselves to the next level. Solstice is the same thing. Equinox is the same thing. And when you have a planet that is in domicile, it's that same exponential effect of the potential for the planet in the sign to actually bring you the opportunity to work with those energies, okay? So I want you to understand the importance of this planet in this position in this particular retrograde. Now, you know, retrogrades happen 3 times a year, more or less, and for Mercury, and Mercury stays in a retrograde for about 3 weeks, okay? So you've got a couple more weeks to deal with this particular retrograde. It started yesterday, so you got 3 weeks, more or less. So to say, más o menos in Spanish. I do have a Spanish channel. I have like over 100 videos over there. So if you do speak Spanish, I recommend that you go to Mercury Is Retrograde en Español, and there's a ton of stuff there because I started that channel before I started this one. Okay, so you've got the planet doing its retrograde in the sign that it rules. Importance augmented, opportunity therefore huge for us to work with the energies that that planet allows. I already told you it's communication, self-expression. It is, you know, things with technology. A lot of times people say Mercury retrograde, oh my gosh, you know, car accidents, technology. Yes, actually a car accident literally happened in front of my house the night before Mercury retrograde, when we were, you know, at the height of the shadow of the beginning of Mercury retrograde. So this is a thing to prepare mentally for, to really vibe high and avoid, okay? The stars don't make things happen. They allow the energy for you to align with, for then to carry out, okay? It's a really important thing to understand, especially me as a coach. We create our own future. We create our reality. We co-create, okay? Nothing here just happens because the stars decided that it's going to happen. Astrology allows you to have information that you can then use to prepare, to you know, empower, to potentialize, to make things the way that you would like them to be, because you now have the awareness of what is available to you. That's the point. It's not like, oh yeah, the retrograde, oh my god, this, oh my god, I have a square with this, or I have a square with that. This is not that kind of channel, and this is also not what we use astrology for. Of course, in evolutionary astrology, you don't do that, and that's more what I align with, is evolutionary and spiritual astrology, okay? Anyway, second factor. So you have this planet in the sign that it rules. More important, it's going through this retrograde period. The retrograde itself allows you to go within. That's what retrogrades are for. It's not an exterior expression or manifestation. You go within, you check some things about, you make some changes, especially, you know, in Gemini, sign of change, mutable sign. And when the retrograde ends, all of those shifts become externalized. You can manifest, you can express, okay? That's the point. The other thing is that right now we're in the middle of Gemini season. So sometimes you have a planet go retrograde in a sign, go retrograde, but it's not in the same sign as the season. So you may have Mercury in Aries go retrograde during Taurus season, for example. Okay. And so there's really not a lot of connection there. But in this case, you have Mercury in the sign that it rules, Gemini, during Sun in Gemini, which means Gemini season. Okay, so you can see how even though these are not planets that are in the Gemini sign, like super close to each other, so there's no conjunction or anything, traditionally you'd have to be, very close degrees and things. You're still in the same energy. These planets are still playing in the same field. Okay, if you want to play soccer, you're playing in that same field. You're just not interacting with each other that much, but you're aware that each other is there. And you know that you're kind of on the same team and that you need to be kind of collaborating, even if at a distance, okay? So that's what's happening. The sun, when we say this is the season of Gemini, this is the season of Taurus, Taurus season, Gemini season, that means that the sun is in that sign. So right now the sun is in Gemini. If you're a Gemini, happy birthday to you. And it also, the way to understand it is, the sun is providing its focus and therefore its energy and therefore activating Gemini energy, okay? Which is an energy of socializing. It's an energy of connecting, of networking. It's an energy of things, information that is brief, that is short, that is efficient, that is fast, bites, bits. It is, of course, self-expression and communication. This is the energy of the messenger, of the archetype of, Hermes, thrice great, all of this. But most of all, is the energy of conscious analysis, okay? So this is where we have the opportunity. The third element is that you have the North Node, the purpose point. As of May 5th of last year, the North Node has been in the sign of Gemini. If you are a Gemini, you probably felt very called to reviewing, getting engaged in, and really focusing on your purpose. North Node is purpose point, okay? The nodes stay in signs for about a year and a half. So it started May of last year. This entire year, 2021, we have the North Node in the sign of Gemini. So if you're a Gemini, please take advantage of that. Ask yourself key questions that we're asking ourselves right now, because all of this is coming together. You got Mercury in Gemini, you got the Sun in Gemini, you got the North Node in Gemini. All of these coming together to ask this: what is my purpose? What am I doing here? Why am I here? What am I here for? What am I here to do, be, etc.? We all know that we're here for the purpose of three things as a collective, right? To learn, to teach what we learn, and to enjoy and experience life and evolve in all of that, okay? But we also have our own particular missions and visions and, things that we can contribute, etc. That is what you're probably wondering about at this moment. Okay, I'm hearing a lot of that in the social media, like, I'm shifting what I'm doing with my business. I'm shifting what I'm doing with my purpose because I just feel called to something else. You can call it purpose. You can call it calling. It's all the same thing. Okay, but that is what you have the opportunity to work with right now. Now, why do I say that I like to highlight the fact that Mercury and Gemini itself rules consciousness and analytical processes? Right now, as you know, Saturn is also in its retrograde phase. Okay, about a week ago, the planet Saturn, which is the planet of like karma, and it wants to teach you things, lessons come back, and you need to, learn them again or go through them again if you didn't really pass the test the first time. And this particular period of the Mercury retrograde, with its potential for miscommunication, some technology and mechanical things to go wrong and things like that, and Saturn retrograde, with its potential to bring about things that are going to be uncomfortable for you to look again into, that you didn't really go through right or well or enough the first time. It may feel uncomfortable, but it depends on how you're going to get through this period. The key is going to be your level of consciousness. The opportunity that these two together are bringing you, plus the North Node, purpose point, plus the Gemini season energy and all this, the opportunity, because remember, Gemini and Aquarius, they're trying. They're both air signs. They get along just dandy. Okay, so these two are working together. What you have the opportunity to do is progress on a very, very quick, okay, because that's what Gemini energy is all about, quick, really quickly, and very kind of, because Saturn in Aquarius is involved, long-term, for the future way, okay? So you have these lessons that are going to be coming about, that are going to be presenting themselves, and maybe some difficult situations, some things that don't go right with some, technological processes or whatever it might be, maybe issues from the past show up, things like that. And you're going to want to feel, and you're probably going to feel, depending on your level of consciousness, but you're going to feel angry, frustrated, uncomfortable, pissed off, whatever it might be, sad, etc. What I'm urging you to do is to take this as a huge opportunity and open up to what is being offered to you, which is the next level of your conscious awakening. Okay, the energy of Gemini and the particular process of Mercury going retrograde in its home sign of Gemini is the gift of being able to take what was subconscious, unseen, hidden, and bring it into the light of, oh, I'm conscious, aware of it. Now I see it, and therefore, because now I see it, and what was before unconscious, automatic, now can be chosen as I'm going to continue on the path, or it can be said goodbye to, and I can choose to do, be, speak, have, etc., something else. That is what consciousness is about exercising our free will to make different decisions if we see that that is what is best for us and for everybody else. And so because we're here in a, third level system virtual simulation, we are here to play with some of these dynamics, like polarity. Oh, we have this, we have that. Oh, it's either this or that. One of those, things that are really, really useful is to actually make things conscious and to have a choice and to be able to decide and choose the path that we think is the best for us. Okay, so if we're not doing that, we're living on an automatic, subconscious, unconscious, not woken up life. And that's not what we're here for. We're here to wake up. We're here to make unconscious things conscious. We're here to make the darkness into light. We're here to see more. And that's, it's actually what a coach does, is what we help you see what you are not able to see. And it's a beautiful process, but it can be an uncomfortable process. In the end, it's always the best thing that you can do. It just takes some courage. So key for now is going to be, let me go ahead and see it, even if it's not going to be pretty. Okay, because if you don't see it, it's going to come back on another retrograde and it's going to bite you. And you don't want that. You want to deal with it now. This is a great opportunity to deal with it. And you want to be like, let me dive in. And let me see what else I can do with this. Not just what it's offering me, but how do I take that to the next level and even get more lessons out of it and even make, more shifts and changes out of it. That's going to be the thing. And you have an opportunity to do this right now in a very conscious way. You have a lunation that's coming up that's going to be very, very, very useful. If you have your astrological guide, you know that we have a particular astro coaching exercise that is specific for purpose, mission, and vision, okay, which are different things, because you would have read the page before the exercises, specifically for the new moon in Gemini. Think about it. Mercury retrograde in Gemini, Sun in Gemini, Gemini season, North Node purpose point in Gemini. New moon will be Sun in Gemini. Moon is also in Gemini. Full moon is opposite, new moon is the same. So you're going to have the moon during the party. You're going to have access to your mind, your subconscious mind, your emotions, which are also in the body. You're going to have access to all this information. So the key moment to really work with all this in an intense and in a heightened awareness way is going to be the upcoming lunation, that is the new moon in Gemini. I believe it's June 10th or so. Okay, so keep an eye out for that. If you have your astrological guide, work with it in that day. You know that lunations remain in a sign for about 2 days or so, 2 days and a half. So you have a portal, a bit of a little bit of an what we call an orb. Okay, so a little bit of space right after and a little bit of space right before. If you're an intuitive and an empath and maybe an Aquarius, you know, tapped in a little bit into the future, you may feel some of these energies and want to work with some of this a day before, 2 days before. So tap into that energy a little bit before. Okay, key for all this is going to be vibe high. You can engage with this energy in a very productive way. You can engage with this energy in a very non-productive way. Okay, I was recently in Montecito, California, which is a lovely place up north. It's actually 2 hours or so further from Los Angeles. And it's a lovely place, and I had a great time, and I went and I decided that I wasn't going to get into an argument with anybody. I was going to flow. I didn't even schedule a hotel for more than one night because I just wanted to go and experience what it would be like to just flow, okay? And just kind of be guided by my intuition. I had a great time. When I got to the hotel that I booked the first night for, they're like, oh, we have you booked for 2 nights. I didn't have to look for a second thing before they were booked, okay? And they're like, no, we don't have availability. No, they had booked me for a second night. Everything was okay. The third day, I was like, oh, let me see what shows up. They called me. We have a third night. Somebody else canceled. We have a third night here for you in the hotel. I actually saw one of my favorite, my God, he's so handsome, actor, Kevin Costner, and, you know, he just parked right next to me. It was such a great trip. The food was amazing, you know, did a ton of making the subconscious process conscious work during the eclipse. Okay, this was an eclipse trip. And because of that, I was able to bypass any of the other things that I was hearing that were taking place for other people. One person I know was, served papers. Another person I know got into an accident. Another person I know was having a car accident. Another person was having trouble with their technology right before going to work with this technology, okay, to serve a client. There was a car accident when I came home in front of my place, and I heard it. I went to see the people to help and everything, and I was like, wow, that could have been us. It wasn't us. Luckily, those people were on their way to the hospital, but it was horrible. You could just see that there are ways to tap into energy that is not the energy that you want to tap into during a difficult eclipse week, Saturn retrograde, Mercury. This was the night before Mercury went retrograde. Okay, Mercury retrograde, Mercury, it's like accidents, mechanical things, technology. You can tap into that, or you can wake up and tap into, like I did, hey, let's see, I'm going to flow, I'm going to go with my intuition, I'm going to trust, I'm going to laugh, I'm going to vibe high, I'm going to consciously not engage in arguments, I'm going to mediate for harmony, etc. You make those conscious decisions. That's what we're talking about when we say woke and woke AF or whatever, and consciousness and the awakening and the shift we have to come into. That's what it's about. And it's not anything huge. It's in the tiny little decisions that you make every single day and the struggles that you have to make the unconscious conscious. That's it. And if you want to do something bigger with that, great. But if you're not doing that small process on a daily basis, who cares about everything else? Okay? And that's what you have the opportunity to do right now with all this energy available to you. So I encourage you to vibe high. The particular signs that are going to be probably feeling this the most are going to be the signs that are in the mutable cross, which is Gemini, Virgo, Sagittarius, and Pisces. If you had something pending that you haven't taken care of, or that you refuse to see in your life, that is a big theme or thing or whatever in your life, these retrogrades are going to bring you that thing to the surface for you to see. I encourage you to opt in rather than opt out and run away. I would encourage you to face it and really dive in and dig for the gold. Every challenge has a gold nugget for us. Every piece of darkness, and every time we dive into the subconscious mind, you will find this gold nugget that you're like, didn't even know I was digging for that, couldn't have imagined it was there, but I'm so grateful that now I get to see that, have that, play with that, add that to my toolbox or my consciousness, okay? let's work on all this together, because the more that we're able to do this, make these unconscious processes conscious, the more that we'll see less and less other people engaging in automatic unconscious behavior. If it's out there, it's within. So it's up to us to shift everything out there by shifting what we have within. I know everybody talks about this. We cannot talk about it enough because it seems so simple that it often gets ignored. So I'm going to be repeating it and repeating it and repeating it and just drilling it into you until you are, walking around, you're at the grocery store and somebody's going to bump into you, and rather than be like, you're going to be like, the namaste, the divinity in me sees the divinity in you, Ho'oponopono, I love you, forgive me, I forgive myself, thank you, all these things, because you understand that in some way, if it was an aggression at some level, it must be a mirror of something you have inside that you have not actually seen. Okay, so not saying that this is an overnight process, not saying that this is something that I engage in 24/7, that I don't get angry, sad, or whatever. Once I helped people with that accident, I ran outside and helped those people that had that horrible car accident. I tend to be one of those people who are like, think first, cry later, and boom, 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 the police, this, that, blah, blah, all these things. And then I came to my room and I just cried and let it all out, and was like, why do we have to go through these things? It was 2 babies and it was a mom. Everybody was okay as far as I knew, but I've never seen or heard anything like that. And I don't want anybody else to go through anything like that. If we can help ourselves and each other to be at a higher vibration, to be at a higher frequency, to be at a higher level of consciousness, so we can have more the kinds of experiences that I had, because I decided to vibe high, and not the kinds of experiences of like, oh my gosh, Saturn retrograde and Mercury retrograde means accidents and this is what's going to happen and you bump into things and things are happening. No, we can make changes and we can have different lives. Okay, that's what I want for you. And that's what I'm hoping you're going to decide for yourself, because I can tell you, I can give you the information, astrology provides you the info, but we cannot do it for you. You have to do the work yourself. Okay, if you're a part of Astrologica, check out obviously all the information I already have, your game plan for Gemini season, but also please, the lunation, the upcoming new moon in Gemini, do your astro coaching. Of course, you'll get a reminder, but this is your reminder already, okay? And if you haven't signed up, don't worry, subscriptions will open up sometime this year at some point again, and I hope at a different price, of course, but I hope that you'll join us then, because this is really important work that we all need to be doing, okay? I love you. I am sending all the blessings to everybody. One of the limiting beliefs that I cleared out through the eclipse was that I come from a journalism background. I used to do print as well as TV, and I think there was a limiting belief in my head that was, no, and in order to get on camera, you need to, put on your makeup and your outfit and whatever. After the pandemic, I'm hanging on my PJs as much as possible. No makeup. I just cut my hair yesterday, thank God, because that means now it's washed, but whatever. I'm like, my focus is on how many books I can read, how many people I can help, and all this stuff. So I decided, wow, I'm not going to let that belief that just surfaced, that is saying you need to look and do and all these things in order to get on camera, because for me, what is most important is to provide you the information that you need in order to make the shifts that you need to make in order to make your life what it is meant to be, which is beautiful. So you may see me around here in my pajamas, looking like a whatever, did she even brush her hair? It doesn't matter. But I'm not about to let some idea of what people should look like or not on a camera limit me from giving you what I think I can provide for you so that you can have a better life. Okay, so that's my commitment, and I hope you make some commitments to yourself based on beliefs that will encourage you to move forward in your life and not limit you based on fear. Okay, it would be great if none of us had any beliefs, we just went with the flow, but we all have some. So if you're going to have them, you might as well make them productive. You might as well make them the kind of things that encourage you to live a better life. Okay, so that's my wish for you. I love you very, very much, and we'll see you either on Instagram or here for the next video. Okay, we're going to go with the flow with that. Before I used to be like, it's got to be weekly videos and it's got to do that, and then that would also limit me that I wouldn't do anything, and I don't want to do that anymore. So we're going to flow with this, and if you have any ideas for anything you'd like to see on this channel, please put them in the comments. Okay, much love.